What did Jesus really teach? The unifying message buried by politics beyond the noise, the ancient call that echoes across faiths. We live in a world where religion often divides, where the very names Christianity, Islam, and the Buddhism trigger images of separation. But what if the core message of history's most influential spiritual teachers wasn't about division at all? What if Jesus, Muhammad, and Buddha were pointing toward the same essential truth, later distorted by institutions seeking power? When we strip away centuries of political manipulation, theological empire building, and cultural weaponization, a startling pattern emerges. The radical heart of Jesus' teachings, preserved not only in the Gospels, but affirmed in the tersus, the Quran, resonates with the same universal wisdom that Buddha taught centuries earlier. The Quran's testament, Jesus as a unifying prophet of peace, Islam's sacred text, explicitly honors Jesus, Isa in Arabic, and confirms his essential message. The Quran isn't contradicting Jesus' teachings, it's affirming them while challenging how they were later politicized. And we sent following in their footsteps, Jesus, the son of Mary, confirming that which came before him in the Torah, and we gave him the gospel, in which was guidance and light, and confirming that which preceded it of the Torah as guidance and instruction for the righteous. Onam Quran papam maim fam ko maim porkosis sintis. Quran establishes continuity. Jesus came confirming previous revelation, not abolishing it. His message was guidance and light, not only the same essential purpose of all prophetic teaching. The shared core of three radical principles that shatter division. 1. The primacy of compassion over ritual. Jesus in the Gospels: woe to you, teachers of the law and Pharisees, you hypocrites! You give a tenth of your spices, but you have neglected the more important matters of the law: justice, mercy, and faithfulness. Matthew 23:23. The Quran's affirmation: righteousness is not that you turn your faces toward the east or the west, but righteous is he who believes in Allah, the last day, the angels, the book, and the prophets, and gives wealth in spite of love for it to relatives, orphans, the needy, the traveler, those who ask, and for freeing slaves. Quran 2:177. Buddha's parallel: rituals have no efficacy, prayers are vain repetitions, and incantations have no saving power. But to abandon covetousness and lust, to become free from evil passions, and to give up hatred and ill will, that is the right sacrifice and the true worship. All three reject empty ritual in favor of active practical compassion. 2. The dangerous call to love your enemy. Jesus' most challenging teaching: but I tell you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. Matthew 5:44. The Quran's echo: repel evil with that which is better, and thereupon he between whom and you was enmity will become as though he were a devoted friend. Quran 41:34. Good and evil are not equal. Repel evil with what is better. Then the one who was your enemy will become as if he were a devoted friend. Quran 23:96. Buddha's wisdom: hatred does not cease by hatred, but only by love. This is the eternal rule. This isn't passive weakness. It's the most strategically brilliant and spiritually demanding path to actual peace. The great reversal: the last shall be first. Jesus' social revolution: blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. In Matthew 5:5. The last will be first, and the first will be last. Matthew 20:16. The Quran's consistent message: the servants of the most merciful are those who walk upon the earth in humility, and when the ignorant address them, they say words of peace. Quran 25:6-3. Do not turn your cheek in contempt toward people, and do not walk through the earth exultantly. Indeed, Allah does not like anyone self-deluded and boastful. Quran 31:18. Buddha's path: conquer anger with non-anger, conquer badness with goodness, conquer meanness with generosity, conquer dishonesty with truth. The pattern is unmistakable. True spirituality dismantles social hierarchies and ego. It doesn't sanctify them. The political hijacking: how unity became division. So what happened? If the core teachings are so aligned, why do we see such bitter division? The Quran diagnoses this phenomenon directly. They have taken their scholars and monks as lords besides Allah and the Messiah, the son of Mary, and they were not commanded except to worship one God. There is no deity except Him. Exalted is He above whatever they associate with Him. Quran 9:31. This verse reveals the mechanism, institutionalization. When spiritual teachings become organized religions, they inevitably create a professional class, clergy scholars with vested interests, rigid dogmas that must be defended, institutional power that requires others to define against people, political alliances that corrupt spiritual purity. Jesus faced this with the religious establishment of his day. Buddha rejected the Brahminical caste system. Muhammad challenged the tribal and economic powers of Mecca. The evidence of continuity, Jesus in Islamic scripture. The Quran repeatedly honors Jesus while clarifying his role. His miraculous birth. Now she said, "My Lord, how will I have a child when no man has touched me?" He said, "Kumarum, such is Allah, He creates what He wills." Quran 3:47. His miracles. "I have come to you with a sign from your Lord. I will make for you from clay the figure of a bird, then breathe into it, and it will become a bird by permission of Allah." Quran 3:49. His disciples. "O you who have believed, be supporters of Allah," as when Jesus, the son of Mary, said to the disciples, "Who are my supporters for Allah?" The disciples said, "We are supporters of Allah." She in Quran 61:14. Most importantly, the Quran explicitly denies Jesus' crucifixion, not to diminish him, but to reject the notion that God would allow such a fate for his righteous prophet. They did not kill him, nor did they crucify him, but another was made to resemble him to them. Quran 4:157. The common enemy, the human ego, Buddha called it attachment. Jesus called it the world. The Quran calls it the lower self, nafs, the universal diagnosis. Our suffering comes from identifying with our temporary selves, our possessions, our status, our tribal identities, our rigid beliefs. The universal prescription: transcend the small self through compassion, generosity, humility, and awareness of the sacred. Reclaiming the teaching, a practical path forward.